So the first thing we're going to be doing today is watching over a small video clip of Cody fencing in the 2012 World Championships. This is the 6th period of 9 in the gold medal bout versus France. On the right is Yannick Burrell, who has been at the top of the fencing world for many years, and Cody's down 7 points. Let's see what he does.
USA are trailing 1924 to France in the gold medal match at the World Fencing Championships 2012. Mattern looked like he was going to fall over backwards then, and somehow recovered his equilibrium, his balance, and struck on a duck. The ducking hit there, and now it's down to 2. Oh, there is another one, and look at how happy this American is. He's closed the gap to just 1 point now. Cody Mattern takes them level.
Wow, Cody, that was some amazing fencing, especially when you're down by 7 points at the highest stage. Can you walk us through what you're thinking mentally during that time?
Yeah, so there's a couple of really important things to recognize in this situation. So you mentioned in the bio that in 2010, the U.S. team was a silver medalist. So I was at the World Championships that were held in Paris, France. And in that same World Championships, we were fencing France for the gold medal bout. And so we had some, very close bouts. And in fact, we actually started that match up. And we had, I think, a 5 or 6 touch lead going into the last series of rotations. And it started to kind of slip away from us. And they started chipping away. And we ended up losing that match by a small margin at the end. So it was, it was obviously a heartbreak, but also, an incredible U.S. first. It was the first time that a men's team had ever medal at a World Championships in U.S. fencing history for men. So really, it's 2 years later, and a lot of us are at kind of the end of our careers, and actually even going for me, I already knew that I was planning to retire and come to Northwest Fencing Center to coach. So I already knew that this was kind of our last dance when it came to a World Championships and a chance at this. And now you're back at the highest stage and competing for it all. And going into that match, I think we were down, like I said, 7 or 8 touches going into that match. And one of the things that really came out of a lot of those years of training together was mental toughness, and also really honesty and ability to communicate. So my teammate Seth Kelsey comes to me and he hooks me up at that match, and he's like, "Cody, you got to go crazy. Like you got to make this happen. You got to go out there." And so there are times when we will try to hold the line or go for a few. In this case, he said, "You really have to go." And one of the big things also came out of this was also visualization. So I think part of the mental game is the mental toughness of knowing what you need and having the trust from your teammates and your coaches, things like that, to support you along the way. And the other part of it was visualization, which also came with our national coach, Sebastian Dos Santos, who had, in preparation for these World Championships, showed us a lot of different videos of different teams that we might come across. And one of those videos was a video of the Italian team, and in particular about where Yannick Burrell, the French fencer, was fencing Traeger from Italy. And in this bout with Traeger, Burrell, when Traeger was moving like crazy in and out, it was as if Burrell, for whatever reason, just couldn't see him, or his reaction speeds were dull. And so when I knew I was getting up against Burrell in this match, and that my teammates like, "You need to go for it, you need to make it happen," that this was kind of the moment that I had to challenge myself to kind of channel like that inner side and really play that role. So you're seeing a lot of very dynamic attacks to the toe, and then jump back up and getting in and getting back out. And in that same match, watching that bout, when Traeger was fencing Burrell, he did a lot of great things when he was really active, and then he started getting tired and fencing a lot more calm and steady with his legs. And then it was as though Burrell was back to his original self and just went back into beast mode and started hitting Traeger left and right. And then Traeger would snap back and go into, that very dynamic footwork mode, and it was back to the original way, and Yannick couldn't hit him. So it was very interesting to see that dynamic shift between either side looking unstoppable based on that one factor of the movement and the intensity. And so that entire bout, I knew what we had to do. And I also knew watching that bout that if I had let up even for a moment, that was going to play into Burrell's strengths as a fencer. And I just had to maintain that high intensity of activity to really stay on top of it, and then play it all the way through to the end. And yeah, so ends up, bringing us even. Soren Thompson then gets us up by 1, and then I'm back in. I think I get 2 more to give our closer Seth a great position to finish it out and win that title.